What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 10 to the TalonCast podcast. I'm your host, Falco. And I know you guys are probably like, yo, Falco, where's our guest? Our guest is not here because there's no reason to have a guest right now. Even though I did say it, I'm going to pull an Intrepid and I'm going to push the goalpost back. We're not going to have a podcast guest until August 4th, all right? Because I just don't feel like it's necessary. And the only thing we're going to be really talking about today is all of the stuff Steven was answering and talking about in the Discord this past week. You already know this man Steven randomly pops up in the Discord and starts answering questions, and it says he has to go back to work or go eat lunch or go eat dinner or something. But then he had one of them moments though this last week where he was answering tons of questions. Who knows? Maybe my speculation. This is speculation. It's not true. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. So don't take it with a grain of salt. I think the reason why he popped in to the Discord so much is because he may see that a lot of people are dropping off, or a lot of people are kind of dissatisfied with the communication, and he feels like he wants to at least either what would I would say? Well, how do I say this? I don't think he wants to at least let people know what the fuck's up and how Intrepid gets down. That's all I'm gonna say. He wants to know. He wants to let people know how Intrepid gets down. By the way, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Let me drink some water before I end up coughing all over the place. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is the second time I'm filming this podcast. Not because I didn't freaking like I didn't actually like film it, or I was talking and the recorder wasn't on. It's more so because I felt like I was too much of a brand risk. I'm already a brand risk, I would say. But I would say I was too critical. Let's put it that way. I was too critical because there's a lot of talking points which Steven talks about, especially with content creators, and like the dissatisfaction that the content creators feel with like communication, and we've said it, and just certain things, how it's been going these past few months ever since phase 2.5 came out. There's just been a lot of discourse, and Steven kind of basically harps back onto that, and I kind of feel like I went too in. I'm based, and I'm very. I don't have, like, I wouldn't say I have a filter. Like, obviously, I think before I speak, but I definitely speak off the cuff, and I speak from the heart, and I speak as genuine as possible to how I feel in that moment. The way I feel may change, but I felt like I needed to run this back, and I also need to be a little more concise because that was a 40-minute episode, and like I said, if this becomes 40 minutes again, let me know. If you guys want that. Let me know if you guys care. Let me know. Also, let me know how you guys feel. How do you watch these podcasts? Do you actually watch this, or do you just listen in your car while you're driving somewhere, or while you're doing that? Let me know in the comment section, as well as comment down below how you feel about these questions and how you feel about Steven's answers, and also comment down below questions you guys think we should answer in the next episode. But yeah, I am also one last one. Sorry, I'm saying doing a lot of comments. Also, make sure you guys comment down below who you think we should have as our first guest on the podcast. It's gonna be the first week after phase 3 starts. So the week after August 4th, we'll start it, so we can talk about everything that hopefully changed in phase 3, and have a good podcast. It's gonna be a very, very base podcast, hopefully, as long as phase 3 doesn't get pushed back, because that's always a possibility. I don't care what no one says. But we're gonna get into this shit, and I'm gonna try to be as concise as I can. I'm gonna read the questions. I'm not gonna show you guys them. I'm gonna read them. First question is, the person asked, is it hard? It is hard keeping up with the info being spread across multiple platforms, like information about like ashes and stuff. And then he says, Steven says, this is where I feel content creators are meant to exist. In a symbiotic relationship with development, it leaves space for someone like me to engage on mediums that are more personal, and gives them opportunity to help collect info from basically multiple places in the freaking world, whether it be Discord, whether it be Reddit, whether it be comment sections, whether it be Twitch, yada yada yada, wherever it be, whether it be the wiki. And I mean, I get it. I mean, that's a type of content creator. In my opinion, I have like a kind of, I don't disagree with it. I do feel like some type of way because I feel like for like a company that has like a content creator manager, um, and like you have all these things like I put that in quotations in theory, and like to that's supposed to like support content creators. I don't feel supported. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I've talked to probably a total of one like intrepid dev, amazing dev. I'm not gonna say who it is because that doesn't matter whether it's here nor there. But I've talked to like one, and I had a very good experience, very good experience. But like the people who I really should be talking to, like the content creator managers, because I've been making content for this game for like 3 months, or not 3 months, my bad, 3 years. Um, and consistently I haven't taken any breaks, and like I said, I don't need a break. Like I do this for fun. Like I want to be a full-time content creator at some point, but like my main job is as a mechanical engineer. Like, so it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like for a company that doesn't have that many content creators, like what's up? And that's my take on it. Like, what the fuck's up? There's your content creators leaving in droves. No one's making, like, at least your biggest content creator. That man skedaddled. Kind of more so was pushed out of this shit. But you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, he left on his own volition, honestly. But yeah, I'm saying it just feels a little shaky. They said that I will give them I will give them grace, that they said that content creation or content creators should be into the content creator program. Hopefully that is good. Starting phase 3. Who knows? I feel like it's also hard to like really tell where you stand with Intrepid, and like what you feel like. How critical can I be? How like how much of my dissatisfaction can I show without it eating into me being a brand risk? Some people are like, fuck it. A lot of people right now are like, fuck it. Me, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I want to be as organic and like honest with you guys as possible, because obviously you guys aren't content creators. You guys are viewers. You guys just play the game. But like as a content creator, like we as content creators have to skirt the line of being organic and being like ourselves and being true and saying what we really mean and not what will appease the company and what will, like I'm not trying to like drag it through the mud or anything like that, but at the end of the day they are a company, and Steven talks about this a little bit more in these questions, about how certain people are brand risks. He only mentions one specific thing, but I'm assuming it was a culmination of stuff. Maybe stuff that Narc said, maybe there's a plethora of stuff that may have kept Intrepid and Narc at arm's length. And we will never know. So who knows? I'm just saying. I'm gonna keep it at this. Don't be surprised if I don't make it into the content creator program, even though I would say I would consider myself a part of the content creators of Astro Creation, because all the other content creators in Astro Creation know who I am. So wouldn't I be a content creator? But let's not. That sounded jaded. I'm gonna keep that in, but I didn't mean it. I'm not trying to be jaded. Like I said, I care more so about my community, the understanding that I'm a genuine person, and I just want to make this game good, and I just want to speak from my experience and how I'm feeling, and you guys can tell me whether you feel the same way or not. People can agree with me or not, but I had to say it, because like, even though like I said, you guys aren't content creators, I feel like maybe people will enjoy that information, or maybe people won't. Who knows? Let me know if you guys enjoy that. There's a lot that he talks about content creators initially in this, so there's like 2 more questions where he goes even deeper, and we're gonna talk about that. And another content creator asks him, he says, but that's the point. Your audience constantly misses changes, updates when they are buried in Discord or Reddit. Even when we report out on them, the that leads to frustration surrounding dates, when basically he's basically saying, he's referring to econ patch where Steven was like, yeah, we're like 1 to 2 weeks away, and then like, oh no, he's like, oh, actually it's not gonna be done until phase 3. But like, it felt like it was pulling teeth to get him to say that. It's like, it shouldn't be pulling teeth to for you guys to say that. You guys shouldn't be like shadow changing like posts. Like, it just feels like they're like, sometimes they're being like super overt with their shit, and then sometimes they're being like, they won't give a fuck, let me just change that real quick. It's like, no, it felt like they just kind of, it's like they wanted to give us that what's that effect where like you think you heard something, or you think something was done a certain way, but it wasn't really done that way. Like, I think like one of those analogies was like, oh, like, you know what I'm talking. If comment down below if you get what I mean. Like, it's like they kind of wanted to make it seem like, no, actually we said this day, not that day. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah. I will say that for when they did change the what's it called, the wording, when people were like, whoa, it actually changed, but they didn't give an announcement. They did send out an announcement after they kind of were called out a little bit in the Discord. They put it in the news channel. So I will say they did that. Like I said, Intrepid's trying to make a good game. Their communication shaky at best. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. They basically are saying that, yeah. And then Steven goes on to say, Ashes isn't yet a stage meant for a wide audience. We're and this is in response to him basically saying that a lot of people in the community still miss these updates, even though people like us like report on it. And like I said, I don't like doing these freaking podcasts where we talk about shit like this, because I want to, like, I'm gonna preface that before we keep going. I don't like doing these podcasts like this. Like, I like talking about the actual fucking like mechanics and the actual shit in the game, and I like playing MMOs. I'm so tired of like drama content. I'm so freaking tired, and I don't consider this drama. This is him just answering questions and shit. But I hate this shit so much. I just want to play. I just want to say what's good, say what's bad, enjoy, vibe out with community, shit. You guys know me. I just care about making the game as good as possible, even if the shit I say isn't put in the game. Just giving my 2 cents. Maybe other people agree, maybe other people don't. But I feel like right now this is the only thing to really talk about. But let's keep it going. He says basically they're not trying to appeal to a wide audience right now. They're still trying to be a niche MMO. They don't really care for eyes, and he says for eyes on the game right now. That's kind of like a fuck you to small content creators. I feel like it's very difficult to grow and a niche that in a game that if you search it up on Google Trends, this game, it's not a trend at all. No one cares about Ashes of Creation or the name. No one cares. No one. This is probably the least that people have cared. And this game this alpha is actually playable now. But that's just me. That's what I think. But going from that, for smaller content creators, this phase presents a real opportunity to grow alongside a passionate and invested audience who value the behind the scenes journey. By the time we're ready to go broader, those creators will already have built credibility and community, positioning them to thrive when the spotlight grows. Could Intrepid invest more in broader marketing? Blah, blah, blah. Sure. But in my view, now is not the time. Our focus remains on building the game. And I get it. They don't care for eyes right now. They just need people to test their fucking game. At the same time, you need eyes on your game for people to test it, right? Maybe he feels at this point in time they don't need any more testers. Anything more as they're playing with house money. That could be a way how they feel. At the same time, it's there's just I don't know. How do I say this? I'm trying to be. Let's be quick. Let's be quick with this, because this is where I went deep. Well, deep in. I'm just saying. Let me just keep it this way. It's very, as a content creator, it's very difficult to grow in a community where it doesn't feel like anyone. There's not where this niche audience seems like it's ever small, ever so small. It's even smaller than usual. Um, and I did say also, I don't like being sold hope. I could sell myself hope. We all know that the game has a chance to be great. That or else we wouldn't be here. Especially as content creators, because we don't we're expected some type of greatness at the end of a tunnel that we don't even know when it'll be. That's like that's like having all of us run on a treadmill and then being like, at the end of this treadmill, there's an invisible cookie. It'll pop, a cookie will pop up at the end of this treadmill at some point after you ran a certain amount of laps, and it hasn't popped. You've been running for like 3 years. You're like, when is this bitch gonna pop up? It's all good. By the time the cookie pops up, you'll be at the weight you want, and you'll be great. You know, it's like, what if I die before that shit pops up, or what if I like, like what happened? Like, or what if I like break my ankle and I'm not able to eat the cookie because like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of factors that change like with it, and I feel like it's like, I don't know. This is my feeling. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know. I'm trying to be as I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, we already know that. You don't have to sell me a shit sandwich. We already know there's a possibility, but there's also a possibility another way. And I guess that's that that real life risk and reward, isn't it, Steven? That's that real life risk and reward. It is. Like, to be great, you have to risk. Like that man Kobe says that the shit that is the most difficult shit and the most scary shit is usually the most rewarding shit because it puts you out of your element. It puts you in a fight or flight scenario where you have to either sink or swim. But in the content creator scene, I feel like it's a little different because you could be great. I feel like it's there's a lot a lot of luck that goes into content creation. And I always say, I like to say with content creation, it's where luck is where preparation meets preparation meets expectations, or my bad. Preparation meets opportunity. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Preparation meets opportunity. And I'm like, what if I prepare and the game just becomes some niche like Arcade Lineage or some shit that no one really plays, and like I'm never able to take off because no one gives a fuck. But on the other hand, it could turn into like the Fortnite of MMOs where a lot of people are able to eat. But there's just a lot. There's just a lot. And I feel like it's even worse when you add a undefined timeline. And that's how I feel, and I think that's how a lot of content creators feel. But like I said, I think we're all gonna be around for the long haul because for one, we just want a good MMO head ass, like I do. Like I just want a good MMO play that I can enjoy. I think MMOs are the most fun shit to play because I've made so many good friends, so many lifelong friends, so many good people from them. So I feel like I don't know what else I would do if I wasn't talking to myself at a computer right now about a game that barely exists. I don't know what the fuck else I would do, honestly. Be a boring life. Let me know what you guys feel about that. But let's keep it going. But he goes on to talk about more content creator shit, which is being a content creator around a game still deep in development isn't easy. It's virtually impossible, especially for a lot of people who don't really make content like gameplay content. Most of the community, if you guys notice, they play the game like on stream and then they just make news content or talk about what changes they want, but they don't actually like make any gameplay content. Um, I've never been in a community. 'Cause I've been a content creator for a very long time. I've never been in a community where the bulk of the people who make content on the game are like newscasters. And I've never been that type of person. Every MMO and every game I've played in. I've put out content of me playing, either making builds or like shit like that. Like that's never been my like forte. But I feel like Steven kind of encourages people to be newscasters and basically be like megaphones for shit that's going on in Ashes. And I'm like, eh, eh, I don't know. That's just me. But to each is their own, man. To each is their fucking own. It's the way it is. Let's keep it going. That's for sure. Comment sections are always going to be a mixed bag of people, good and bad. You already know. People talking about, yay, I love the game, or people saying, oh, it's a scam. No, there's gonna be both. There's gonna be both people. He's like, I'm not dismissing your community feedback, but pointing to comment threads isn't always a solid foundation for broader claims. You can farm outrage or optimism depending on the tone of your content. That is a reality. I mean, I feel like that's just content creation, in my opinion. In a sense, like let me give an example. Like, let's say probably one of the most unbiased people in like the tech realm, in my opinion. Marquise Brownlee. Let's say a new iPhone comes out and he tests the new iPhone out and he's like, okay, this shit's shit. Like or he doesn't say shit, but he doesn't really give it a glazing review. Technically, that may farm negative. That may be negative farming. Negative. I mean, even, but it's like he's just giving his opinion, and if other people agree, then I mean, I guess it magnifies. That's just the reality of it. Like, so if I put out a video and I'm like, damn, Ashes is trash right now, it's true. Like it, you know what I mean? It has a negative connotation to it, but it's true. It's like, game hasn't been updated, been delayed, or the alpha hasn't been updated in a while, or like updated in the sense, sorry, hasn't been updated in the sense of like any new content in a while. Alpha's been pushed back. There's a lot of stuff that's been making this alpha feel unplayable and not really worth testing. Negative connotation, true. It's true. It's true. Or sorry, my light is like flickering. Oh, I know why. But yeah, it's like, it's the leg of the lamb, man. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. It's not. It's kind of like, let's say with the thing, like last episode with the podcast, I was talking about Expedition 33. That game was great. It was great, and a lot of people think it's great. A lot of people think it's amazing. I haven't heard many people say it was bad. I've heard a lot of people say it's game of the year. Obviously it's not an MMO, but it's a game made by developers, small indie developers. But it was a great game. It was in development for like 6 or 7 years. Unreal Engine as well. I guess I farm positivity, but I'm like, it warranted it. Like, I get it. Like, if that's why I feel like Intrepid doesn't want to put out certain things too quickly, because they know that if they put it out and it's bad or really unplayable, then it's gonna farm negative feedback or negativity. But what do you want from us? Like, you want us to tell us if it's shit or not? It's gonna sound like a reverberating, like a bunch of people saying the same shit over and over. It's just a lot of people letting you guys know bad. Not fun, unplayable. That doesn't mean that it's gonna stay that way. Most people understand that it's in development, unless you're like some freaking, like someone, unless you're unhinged or unbent, like you're not right. You're gonna understand it. Yeah, it's not in good shape, but I hopefully will. By us saying it's not in good shape. But keep it going. I've said it before, people come and go. This has been an 8-year journey. No one's expecting, he said, no one's expected to stay hype the entire time. That's just not realistic. My goal was never to be, okay, here's a key point. My goal has never been to be transparent in the way everyone wants. I feel like the litmus test of transparency needs to be established then. How do you want to be transparent then, Steve? So, and then people can choose whether to support you or not. Like, how do you want to be transparent? Do you want to let us know whenever a delay is? Do you not? Like, I feel like that is transparency, right? That's transparency right there. How do you want to be transparent with the community? I feel like that alone would pay dividends, because then people can choose whether they want to leave or not. If they're like, all right, that's not enough communication. Like, let's say hypothetically I'm talking to a girl, and I'm like, what's your definition of good communication? Or, and then she tells me this, that, and the other, or she tells me, oh, I think you should da, and then she doesn't do that, or maybe she tells me her communication is a certain way. I'm like, you know what? I don't think your communication skills aren't that good, so I think I'm gonna have to dip. Like, you're good, but like that's a thing for me, and I know this is gonna be a long-term thing, MMO status type wise. I don't wanna dive into that, but I wanna know. I would like to know so I can make my decision based upon that. So I would say, let me know what you guys think. You guys think that's a good thing? Like, hey, Steven, what is the way that you do want to be transparent with everyone? He goes on to say it's to be transparent in the way that helps us build the right game. And I'm like, that's so vague. That alone is vague. Like, in my eyes, in my opinion, I feel like that's a vague statement. Like, in the way that makes the right game. Cool, I get it. Like, obviously, I want to make the right fucking game. Like, what is the transparency? I feel like that the word transparent is so broad. People usually take it all the way to the max when they say transparent. Like, I feel like, let's say if transparency is like an opacity, you guys know what opacity is. It's like the pass through, like how much you can see through like a color or thing. I feel like Steven's like, you know, let's put like a 20 opacity. Like, they can kind of see through, but they don't really know what the fuck's going on. Like, but what people really want, they want like a 80% opacity. Like, that's a transparency. Like, they want to know, like, all right, it was delayed. Why was it delayed? Like, I feel like we get that why it was delayed from Steven when shit hits the fan, or when people are like at their peak of annoyance, you know? And I'm like, it doesn't need to get there. Like, it doesn't need to get there, like, at all. Like, don't fuck. Oh, like, don't piss off the people who like really fuck with you like that. Like, you know, like, don't do that. Like, and I know they don't do it intentionally, and maybe because they're fucking I think don't get me started. I still think they're crunching, in my opinion. I think they've been crunching this whole fucking year, but that's an opinion. That's an opinion. I could be wrong. I would never know, because that is not part of the transparent package that we have bought from Stephen J. Sharif. The transparency package. I'm so annoying. I'm annoyed. I hope no devs are watching this. Devs, turn this shit off right now if you're watching, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Turn it off. I mean, you too, Planendorf. Turn this shit off. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. But let's keep it going. Fuck. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. Where was I at? Those who bounce now can come back later. Those who stay might step away down the line. It's all part of the cycle. This man cycling out content creators like we're fucking, like we're microfiber cloths. He's like, all right, don't worry, some new niggas will come through, and they'll talk about news, and they'll leave too. They'll look at some other new niggas, and then you niggas will be back. You know who also said you'll be back? New World. I'm sorry. I don't think this game will ever be New World. Like a lot of shit has to go wrong to be New World. Like you have to go bald, you have to gain 200 pounds, you have to freaking get you have to get you have to get gout. A lot of shit got to go wrong before you turn it to New World. But like I'm just saying, it's very. I think it's kind of arrogant to be like, you niggas will be back. You niggas will be back. I mean, we'll be back because there ain't anything else to play. Like, most likely, like anything else to try. But like, be forewarned, Steven. This shit don't launch the way you really expect. I don't think people will give us too many chances. I'm just saying. I think it'll launch very well. I'm rooting for you. I want this shit. Hey, if me rooting for you is rooting for me, because if you do if you do good, I do better. I mean, actually, if you do great, I do good. More like it, because you're the company, so you're gonna freaking come out with spades. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I want this shit to be great. But keep it going. And yeah, I know being a content creator right now is rough. It's rough. This is like 80 to 800 cc freaking. This is the highest grade of sandpaper that you can get. Imagine wiping your ass with that, like one way, and then wiping it the other way, like 8 times. The highest grit sandpaper. That's how rough it is being a content creator. This is gonna sound okay. I'm gonna say it. Like I like to, like being a real content creator, like that doesn't just do like new shit, like being someone who plays the fucking game, like on YouTube. Like obviously people play the game on Twitch and shit. Like Twitch is like live streaming. I'm saying like a YouTube content creator, if I can be so specific, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I've already talked about that. But yeah, like I'm saying, like it's rough as fuck being someone who plays the game like for the content right now, for the content on YouTube videos wise. You're not wrong. This isn't the easiest road, but no road worth walking is. Cliche, but true. It's true. The people who are building now in the hard stages are going to be the ones best positioned when the time comes to go broad. That's not just a silver lining. I said silver lining. That's the opportunity. I'm like, come on. This ain't a stock. This is like MMO, and most MMOs fail. Like the average MMO fails, and the average MMO made by a freaking brand new studio is even more likely to fail. Like we have more stuff rooting against us than as content creators that's rooting for us. Like I'm gonna keep it a bean. I gotta keep it a bean. Like, come on. And the one that's PvP heavy is even more likely to fail. Like if PvP is like the mainstay of how people like transact, there's like a big portion about how people like get shit done in the game, or like like, come on, the lineages, the arcages, the Star Wars Galaxies, all these MMOs, these freaking MMOs in the MMO graveyards. We're still, basically he says they're still building shit. And then he says, I know not everyone will be happy with the way we communicate. We're trying to walk the line between staying focused and staying connected. And when it's time to go wide, you'll know. I get it. Like I said, I think a lot of us who are here, we would not be here if we didn't have hope. And I feel like that's our own staying power. Like, and he's basically saying, yeah, hope, stay, hope. If you're gonna do it, better make sure keep your hopium levels up. Hopium, and my hopium levels are at an all-time middle ground. And then he talks about Narc in this kind of. He doesn't mess. I mean, he mentions Narc by example, but not intended to be him. But he talks about Narc in a post, and he says, I would never tell a person how they should make their content. He said, I will be happy, I will happily give advice if asked. You know what? I'm gonna take you up on that, Steven. I'm gonna take you up on that. So if you're asked, I'm gonna ask you, like, Steven, do you feel like my content is overly critical, or do you feel like I am speaking? I am playing. I'm not playing. Sounds weird. It sounds like I'm being a bottom feeder when I say playing both sides. But are you, or do you think I'm being impartial? Like, I'm saying how I feel, but then also giving my take on how you guys actually may feel, even if my interpretation of how you guys feel is like wrong, because obviously it could be wrong. I don't know what your guys' intention is, at least from like the perspective of whatever I'm talking about at that specific time. Obviously your intention is to make a good game, but yeah, I'm gonna take them up on that. Don't say it if you don't really want people to ask you. Ask if you're a content creator. Go ask Steven. He says he'd be happy if someone asked. All right, Steven, Mr. Sharif says that's my father. but keep it going. But one truth is simply to understand with branding and marketing companies. Sorry. Branding and marketing companies work with the people that they feel represent their brand. With Narc, I could never get past him banning people and constantly calling people out of their names and calling them bad words, like insensitive words. If that's the persona he wants to sell, it will be the persona he attracts. I had hoped his pivot would work out well for him, but I don't think it did. I have multiple takes on this. I would say, I'm sure those aren't the main two reasons, but those are the main two that everyone could see overtly, of how he interacted with his community and interacted with people and did stuff. I'm assuming there's way more reasons he didn't fuck with him, like from a marketing and from a actually trying to talk to him. Like it's probably, you probably will never say. That's probably from an HR thing. Maybe HR people are like, I don't know about him. It's kind of shaky. He doesn't pay. I don't think he'll paint our game in a good light. I just hope that Intrepid, even though I always say this, they are a company and they have a HR and they have people that are like, no, this is gonna paint our. He's not gonna speak glowingly about our game. I just hope that Intrepid isn't a company, or turns out to be a company, where they only give plug to people who speak glowingly about their shit. I'm not saying they're going to do that. This is just a foreshadowing that I hope doesn't happen. Sorry. Dang, we've been talking for a while. But I just hope they don't do that. Like, because that's not going to be good. People are going to see it. People see that clear as day when they feel like companies only hire people who talk glowingly. Like, I know a lot of content creators who don't take brand deals from people who only want people who are going to talk glowingly about their product. Because for one, you lose so much, like you lose so much integrity with your community when you do that. Like for me and personally, if that's how I had to interact with like my community based upon like being able to get like a brand deal or get like some like time with Steven or like in company or like devs or anything like that, like an interview, I don't know how I'd feel. I would feel some type of way, because I'd be like, I built my brand off of people like knowing that they can come to me and get like a genuine like litmus test of how I feel about specific thing going on in the game and how I feel, and like they know that I'm gonna ask hard hitting questions and be that guy. I feel like I would be doing my community a disservice if that is the way the Intrepid operates, where they only want to fuck with people who talk, who give the the best, the nicest, the most friendly takes in their favor to them. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. I hope that is not the case. I'm not gonna say it is. I don't know them. I mean, I definitely don't. I don't know them at all. But yeah, let's keep it going. That's how I feel. Let me know what you guys think about that. Someone asked, what's the highest priorities right now? Highest priority. Dang, this is 40 minutes still. God damn, there's still so many questions. Fuck, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna give me 20 minutes, 20 more minutes, and then we'll post. I mean, we'll freaking, we'll stop at the most. If it goes to an hour, I'll stop, and I just won't answer any more questions. There's just so many questions that I feel like I should give a take on it. Maybe you guys enjoy this. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this podcast so far. I'm so sorry, but someone asked what's the highest priorities right now, and he says Unreal Engine 5.6 upgrade, dynamic gridding. I said grilling, dynamic grilling. I do some dynamic grilling, but dynamic gridding, anvils. There's a lot more though, that they're gonna be delivering. I guess I'm talking about in the next stream. Cool. And also someone talked about Steven, is travel high priority for the team, roads, vehicles, and taxis. And he says roads are being fixed for P3. And I'm assuming if you guys don't know about that, there was a time in the alpha where roads did give a road buff, which was like a speed buff, where when you're on it, I think it gave like 20% speed increase. That would be crazy right now if you were on like a mount. That would be so good. I'm not sure what their bug was that made them take it out the game, because it was in the game at some point and I think it was working properly. But I'm assuming they took it out because of a bug. I would love if a dev could comment on why that road buff was taken out the game, because I'm like 99% sure it was in the game, or at least it was showing that it was in the game, because when I would go on the road, it would say I had a road buff, and then when I left the road, it would leave. And it would do like a little pop-up next to my character, like wording it. So I don't know. I would love to know. That'd be dope to hear that, if someone could talk about that. But keep it going. Don't you think? Nah, I'm not gonna. That doesn't matter. I'm not gonna talk about that one. I'm so tired of negativity right now. I'm not trying to be negative. I just want to give my takes the way it's supposed, the way I feel it is, and I just don't feel it. But let's go on to this. If dynamic gridding doesn't work out, since it has never been done before, do you have a backup plan? Also, why does the crate system excite you so much? And then he says Steven says, the backup will be static gridding. Then he goes on to say, but it is already working on our main development branch. And I'm assuming the dude was talking about, is dynamic gridding going to be in the game for P3, like at the beginning of P3. I don't think he means like at all in general. I'm assuming he understands it'll be in the game at some point by like the game's like instead, like when it first goes into its launch. But he's saying, will we get it like in like phase 3 and like very soon? And I don't feel like Steven needed to be like, but it's already working in our development branch, because now that's just more pressure for them to get dynamic gridding out at the beginning of phase 3. It's like, I don't think, me personally, I don't think he needed to say that. I think he could have just answered the question, because the dude asked, what's the backup plan? And he said, and he gave him the answer. The backup plan was static gridding. I think now that just puts him in a position where if dynamic gridding doesn't come out at P3, now people are going to go back to this message and be like, well, you said it was on the main development branch, like you know. And I get it. That's the communication, that's the transparency. I love the transparency. I'm like, it's like, is this where the transparency is going to stay? Like, are you going to continue to tell us? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? And that's where the lines blur. It's like, where does where is the transparency line? Where's the demarcation line, Steven? Where is it? We don't know where it is. We don't know what we can ask, what we can't, and we kind of are just shooting in the dark. I got me. It's like when you go to the bathroom and you try to pee without turning on the lights, and you fucking splash on the freaking toilet, and you're like, fuck. Don't lie to me like you haven't done that before. But yeah, like, I feel like we just pissing in the dark when we ask this nigga stupid questions. We're pissing in the dark. It's like, you know how hard it is to piss in the dark? Fucking hard. pissing in the fucking dark when I talk to this man. But let's keep it going. Ah, shit. All right. Uh, yeah, someone says, I don't care either way. I'm just trying to explain from my point of view why people are annoyed with Intrepid. And this man Steven responds to that. This man Steven was going to town. Now I love this man Steven. I'll give him a kiss right now. There's a kiss for you right now, Steven, if you're here. He's probably not here. But I have to. I have to speak it into existence. Steven watches my content. Steven watches my content. Steven watches my content. Someone watches my content. Fucking god. Let's keep it going. You guys are probably like, this is how does he talk to himself so much? Fuck. I'm a weirdo. It's a 45-minute podcast talking to myself. What the fuck? But let's keep it going. Steven says, anyone annoyed with development woes should step away and come back later. And then he goes on to basically say, I'm gonna just say the whole thing. The purpose of our open development is not to force you to participate, to do something that you aren't enjoying. If you disagree with something, you can say it. But if you say it nonstop each day or directly to the head of the company who disagrees with you, that man Steven's great. He's like, if you say it to me and I think you're an idiot, then I'm kidding. He doesn't say you're an idiot, but like, if I think, but in so many words, I feel it. That's how I feel. He disagrees with you. There's no point to stay and demand an apology. I don't say this to be dismissive, though you will surely take it that way. I mean, it feels that way. I mean, I'll keep it. I mean, I'll say it real quick. Just because you say something it doesn't feel dismissive, you don't mean it to be dismissive, doesn't mean it makes people feel that way. You know, like you could say something to someone and they're like, damn, you're an asshole. And you can say, I didn't mean to be an asshole, but that's how it made me feel. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I could say, get out of my room. Dang, you're an asshole. I didn't mean that. I just want you to get out of my room. Like, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I still feel that way. Like, that you made, you know? And I'm like, I get it. It's both ways. Like, people have feelings on both ends of the spectrum. Like Steven says, like, there's someone talking to him. We're two people talking from one side from different ends of the computer. So I get it from both ends. But I don't say this to be dismissive, okay, but rather to spare you the unwanted annoyance. The project will come to progress and will ship. You do not have to be here for the entire process if it is a hindrance to enjoying your day. You are welcome to take a break. It is encouraged. Testing an alpha MMO can really be quite the pain in the ass, and exciting. And expecting a company to do things the way you want one is quite the entitlement. I got it. I feel like I agree with that, and it expecting like if I'm like if I'm the only person saying I wish Intrepid does like a specific thing one way, and not many people are saying that, then yeah, I'm definitely being entitled. But to like, I'm not saying he's expecting people to stay around because of the way that they can, even though they aren't a fan of the way they communicate. But then I feel like I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say. I don't think it's an entitlement per se to say that. Oh, it's crazy to think that you expect people to come back to your game when it actually ships the way you say, or it ships. Like people may have such a bad taste in their mouth that they may not come back. You know. I wouldn't say it's an entitlement per se, but I would say it's an arrogance. It's definitely an arrogance, but I guess you have to have some type of arrogance or some type of type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not resolve, but some type of I guess I'll call it arrogance. You do have to have like some type of arrogance, I guess, to put so much money behind a game and expect it to be like one of the crazy games that, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be Fortnite level for this game to pay dividends for Steven. I don't really know where Steven expects this game. He could say he expects it to be Fortnite level of MMOs, but like maybe he doesn't really believe that himself. You know? Like he's saying that because the more he hypes up his game, the better. Like the more likely people are to stay around if people feel like this game is gonna go that way. I don't know. I feel like yeah, yeah. I just don't know. It's I get what he's saying though. It is an entitlement to expect some to be that way, but I don't think it's an entitlement when the mass majority feel that your communication is shaky. I feel like it's an entitlement when it's like one person that expects the company to do something their way, because you're a silent majority, or silent minority. But if you're a loud majority, that's how I feel we are at this point, or at least the people who watch the game or participate, I feel like that's when the entitlement kind of fades away. But maybe that's just my opinion. You know, maybe I'm entitled. Maybe I'm rearing my ugly entitled head. But you know, that's just the way it is. Um, but yeah, I feel like I don't know him expecting people to come back. It's kind of like some crazy arrogance or blind delusion or something like that. But you gotta have it if you expect your shit to be. If you expect it to succeed, I would have some blind arrogance and delusion too if I put so much money behind the game. I'd be like, yeah, my shit don't stink. This shit gonna be the best. I'm gonna make sure it does because I put too much money behind this shit. I would have the delusions of grandeur, head ass. But who knows? Let's keep it going. I want. Let's see. Okay, someone says, I want to know, though, is this area real? And then he puts up a video of the Unreal Engine 5 walkthrough where it shows the island that I'm assuming is supposed to be Sujoma, which is north of the eastern island of Vera. If you guys know, it's the little icy area above the eastern, or the western, my bad, the western part of Vera, the western island. And he says that area was real. Yes, he says all work in progress we show and showed are real. Just remember, work in progress means it can change. So I mean, it's probably not gonna look exactly 1-to-1 because that shit came out in fucking forever ago. I don't remember, 2001 probably, or 2002. But yeah, I mean, I would assume it would be. I mean, we don't know the actual area. No, he never gave the name. So it may not. Who knows? I'm assuming it's Sujoma. But let's keep it going. I'm not gonna go over that. Okay, here we go. Someone talks about you should really let Dr. Burns Copium Clinic do a bespoke dev edition and bring a few devs for him to talk to. And then he says devs can be, and then Steven responds, devs can feel uncomfortable with answering questions, especially in an active development setting, because things can change so drastically. And you cannot always predict who will go off a cliff when it happens. So sometimes they don't want the responsibility of being a punching bag. That's why I tank the hate / love. I don't know about that. I think obviously I'm not gonna call him a liar, but I think he's definitely fudging it a little bit. Cause like Steven, you could let them go on. You can give Copium Clinic or Burns a freaking syllabus of what he can't ask or what type of questions he can't ask. Like, they don't have to be developmental questions about how the game is developed. Like there's so many ways you can totally get around stuff that like is subject to change. And there's always so many ways for that to be expressed. Like, I think that is I don't want to call it disingenuous. I definitely want to call that, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's capping personally. That's all I'll say. That's what I'm saying. I think he's capping. But we gotta take his word for it because he said it, and there's no way to disprove it. So take his word for it. I just don't. I think that's some bullshit. I think it's bullshit. You know, I think it's bullshit because it's like there's so many questions you can ask that don't require them to answer stuff about active development of the game. You feel me? There's so many questions you can ask. And they talk about stuff in active development. They just did that on the last stream. They just did that on the last stream. Last live stream that you guys did. So it's like, I call cap. But it's an opinion. And like I said, there's no way to disprove what he says. So I can't. So what he says is true. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. What Steven said is true. But I think it's bullshit. And that's I have an opinion, and it's all right for me to think that. Let's keep it going. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's bullshit, or do you think it's true? I don't know. But how do you feel? How do you feel about that? And then the last question to cap off this hour-long rant that makes me feel like I've just shit on Intrepid, which I didn't mean to. I just wanted to give my take. Is our mage earth spells ever coming back, or were they scrapped? That's a good ass question. I've asked that question before, because I remember seeing like earth or quake and a bunch of earth spells, and Steven answers with a very promising answer, which I'm really happy for. He says, when we finish the summoner, we will be doing some revisions to skill trees and rounding out some left behind skills, including earth magic. I'm so happy because my freaking archer needs so many more skills. I feel like my archer feels so vanilla. That shit makes me want to wipe my ass with a cheese grater. I'm sorry. Like, I like the fantasy of being an archer. I just feel like there's only one style to play with the archer, and it makes it busts my balls. I love the archer. Like, I like that specific playstyle. It's the only one though. Like, even ARPGs have more types of like playstyles you can play with different classes, and those are action RPGs. So like, I would assume there should be way more ways to play your classes, your base, not classes, way more ways to play your archetypes than the one specific way right now. Because like the one specific way, there's like one bespoke way to play your class or archetype. So that's promising to hear, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they can do. I hope the black hole comes back. Yo, if a dev wants to, oh, what am I even saying? Fuck. Fuck it, just say it. If any developers watch this shit and they want to tell me if black hole is ever coming back or if it was scrapped, let me know. I feel like Steven has said that it's been scrapped before, but I cannot confirm or deny if that is true. But yeah. Let me know what you think about that. But yeah, like I said, I love you guys, Intrepid. I just gotta speak my piece. I'm sorry if I stepped on any toes or if I pissed anyone off, but that's just how I feel. I tried to be as bipartisan as possible, and like I said, don't hate Intrepid. They're doing the best they can, even though their communication is shaky at best. Yeah, they're doing the best they can, and I think that the game is going to be good. I honestly do think the game is going to be good. It's in shit shape right now, but we very seldomly see alphas like in their organic presence. So give them some grace. You know, go eat an ice cream cone. Go play fucking Expedition 33, please. Go play that. It's a good game. Go play Expedition 33. Go play. Go watch some anime. We're about to have the best anime season of our life soon. And starting in July. Go do something else. Put on your post notifications and wait for Intrepid to show you something worth looking at. Instead of some fan art. Go do something with your fucking life. Or watch more of my podcast. Come back Tuesday. But if you guys enjoyed this episode and you guys want to see more like this, make sure you guys like, comment down below, and subscribe. I promise you, I won't be doing too many more of these unless you guys want to hear me talk about specific things that people are talking about. I said I don't want to make this freaking podcast me talking about what other people talk about because I feel like that shit is so lame. I feel lame right now doing this. I feel extremely lame. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I enjoyed I feel like it's therapy for me being able to speak about how I feel about situations. But at the same time, I feel like this is kind of lame because I would rather talk about stuff that can be fixed in the game. But I feel like I've beaten the dead horse so much talking about what can be fixed and what can't be. That it's not worth talking about anything yet until anything more in Ashes right now until August 4th, like it's going on within the game. Because I just don't feel like the game is gonna get much updates in the next month. We got like a month until phase 3, hopefully. So hopefully. But yeah. My last talking points that I would say for the cliff notes for anyone who made it to the end. I would say Intrepid's got a long way to go. I feel like with communication, especially with content creators. I feel like their content creator communication, at least towards me, I can't speak from anyone else. Because I don't know how well they communicate with other content creators, but with me, it's been shaky. No, my bad. It's been non-existent, except for one dev. I've talked to one dev, very good, very nice dev. I will say this on both sides. When I do talk to a dev, it's always very, very dope conversations and very dope, just vibes. I will say, Intrepid hires the most friendly people and the dopest people. I would say, other than that, I haven't had much contact with any people from Intrepid. I've talked to Steven once, but that was to clear up some bullshit. Other than that, it's been kind of shaky. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment down below, subscribe. Let me know if you made it this far. If you made it this far, I only have one. No, I lied. Go check. There might be more freaking words. Fuck. If you made it this fucking far, which you probably didn't, type below pizza. This pizza is hard as a rock. I should have eaten this a long time ago. Costco pizza doesn't really hold up when it's not hot anymore. But type down below pizza. If you enjoyed this or if you made it this far. If you enjoyed this shit, make sure you go check out the main channel at Twitch or at youtube.com/@Falco, the only Falco. My bad. @the only Falco. The links are down below if you want to go to the main channel where we post gameplay content, as well as don't forget to check out the social medias down below, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and also check out the streams. I stream on YouTube every Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Come by, say hi, vibe out with me. And yeah, other than that, I love you guys. We going to the top. We're not gonna stop, and I will see you in the next podcast, episode 11. But yeah, peace out. Don't wanna say